Check, check, check. And welcome to Kena, Bridge of Spirits. Thank you very much for joining me on this play discussion of Don't Look Now. I'm playing Kena, Bridge of Spirits, so spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. Do me a quick favor before you leave, because you're probably going to leave. Just say hi down in the comments. Let me know that you stopped by. Tell me what games you're playing, what games you'd like to see me stream. If I have them in my collection, I will add it to my streams. And if I don't have it in my collection, I'll go and check to see if it's on sale somewhere and add it to my library and stream it. Alright, so I've played Kena for about an hour or two. And I've kind of messed around with some of the, I don't want to call them gimmicks, but you know what this game is about, and it's all about like these companions that you're kind of bringing around with you. And while I do this, I've kind of gone back and forth between fidelity and performance mode, and I don't really know which one's better. It's supposed to, you know, it targets 60 frames per second. You know, it's a good, you know, disclaimer there that it targets 60 frames, so you're not going to like be locked at 60 frames. But I think it drops pretty low, upscaled 4K, and then I think this one actually seems to be better fidelity at 30 frames per second. You know, it's locked. So I've kind of hovered around there. So I've started to collect these little guys, and these are rots. I thought I started calling them roots, but it's ROT, so rots. And they've got little powers that you can use to command them to do specific things, like lifting heavy objects, which I think is pretty cool. And then you can command them to just take it wherever you want to. I am surprised that some of the controls are a little bit counterintuitive. You pull the L2 trigger to create this spot, but in order to activate it, you press the square button instead of the right trigger. And also the right trigger seems to be... so I'm playing on a PlayStation 4, and I've got... I don't know if this is exclusive to PlayStation 4, but I'm playing on PlayStation 4, so the right analog stick, or the right trigger, in combat does a kind of this heavy strike, and then R1 does a fast light strike. But there's kind of adaptive feedback in that trigger to give it some heft, give it some resistance. But that stays in other modes. Like, I don't feel like this should be... It has some like resistance to the trigger pull. And another part of that is in photo mode, which I really love photo modes. And that adaptive trigger feel is still present sometimes. Like, there's a little bit of a heavy pull that I have to do in order to get it to rise. It's not all the time, but it kind of kicks in and kicks out sometimes. What I do like about the photo mode I mentioned before is that you can tell your characters to go into action mode. You see things start to move, and Kena, the main character, or any character that's in the frame with Kena that's looking at the camera, will go into it'll track. But if the camera's behind, you'll see how they won't like turn around and look. But if the camera is at least facing, I'd say maybe like a 45, maybe 90 degree, 90. We'll call it 85 degree from the front of the character. They'll look, and then you can tell them to say cheese, and they'll do different poses. I think she's got a peace sign too. Yeah. I wish there was more of those, and it doesn't seem like the rot join in, but I'll kind of mess around with that later if anyone's curious and they drop in. But yeah, that's fun. I enjoy photo modes. Photo modes are becoming more and more common in games, so I'm appreciative of that. Alright, so I've got the rot sitting here, and they're holding up this block here. They don't necessarily have to continue holding it. I could drop it, I believe. Here's what I'm talking about with the photo mode. Now see how the rot are there, and I go into the photo mode, and then I go action. Alright, sorry, I go action. And they will look at the camera. Let's see if they do. Maybe I just had it where a point where they weren't in camera frame. So then I'll go cheese. Oh, I guess they do. I take all that back. Sometimes they do pose. They don't pose there forever, right? They'll go back into their, you know, like they're live. Then I can change the pose here and do a quick picture frame. Try to get them before they look away. You have to get it because they won't hold the pose forever. At least the background characters. I think Kenna might just hold out for that photo. But anyway, I digress. Alright, so up here, got a double jump. I might have to get the block a little bit closer. See if I can get it at the peak. She does have a clamber, which is good. When I started to play the game, it felt like maybe she didn't have a clamber. But it seems to be she does, which is excellent. I've had one, alright, so as I get distracted here, so you do have the ability to kind of clean up things that are around the world. So you can aim your staff at what you want to send the rot over to, or you can just hit the use rot button, which is the square. And she said, hey, can you pick that up? And there's a lot of things that you can do to pick up around the world, and you can see the top right there, I got a little bit of a collection there. I'm not quite sure what that is. Again, I've been playing for about an hour. So I don't know everything in the game. The game starts out somewhat linear on a sort of rail path, but it does open up. Primarily that choice of being on rails, at least it feels like it's on rails in the beginning. Very confined, narrow spaces going from point A to point B. It starts to open up later as you complete your, I don't know, tutorial. Alright, so again, spoilers.
Let me help you. I can heal these spirits and restore balance to
Alright, so I'm gonna skip that because I've already seen that. Alright, so this is her shield, which is also sort of her ability to wake up items around the world. And if I time it right, I can get a parry off the these enemies. See if I can do it here. Oh, I see. So down at the bottom right, I'm just learning, or bottom left, there's a bar there that fills up knowing how much power I have left in my shield. So I have to time that right. I'm not timing my parries very well. Not doing good on the parries. I'm playing on story mode, by the way. There's a parry. Alright, so now that I've defeated the enemies, the rot are not as scared anymore, and I can use them to break these infected areas. They'll hover around it for a little bit, and before they taper off, you do that little kind of burst, and it'll clean things up. I've seen later parts of the game to where you have a bunch of these rots. And I almost want to say it's like Pikmin, or Pikmin, you know, the Nintendo game, to where you're collecting a bunch of things and they'll help you and do things for you. Companion style of games are not new. I do like the style, though. It's
Sire, she cleared away the poison. The little guys can eat it. Hey, Rob.
Alright, I'm probably going to get
If you wanna
copyright
get to the
claimed.
mountain shrine, you have to help us with something first. Our brother Taro was trapped deep in the forest. We need you to help him. Great idea, Saya. That'll be easy for her. Did you see what she did to that stick guy? Help us free Taro and we'll take you to the mountain shrine. Woohoo! Come on. Our village is this way.
Alright, so I've got more rots. You know, they'll get more and more in number. I think I've seen up to 24 as a number. But right now you can see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in my entourage. There are some upgrades that you can spend points on. And I think that's what I collect. I will call it experience for lack of a better word. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but it's that, you know, at the top right you got 55, we'll call it experience. I've got 8 rot in my collection, and then there's another type of currency. Again, I don't know what all the currency does. It does look like some of the experience is to upgrade. I don't have the spirits tab up there at the top left unlocked. It's still locked right now. Here is the map overall. It opens up after you get through all of this. It does feel linear, but once you get out here, you can see how it opens up a little bit more to let you explore. So that is fun. I'm glad that they didn't make it just sort of a straight shot on every single level. But there are masks that will come up as I talk to other characters. And you'll kind of see that as I walk up here, and I think that now it says Kena, Bridge of Spirits. Sort of the opening title. Again, it's not necessarily a vast open world. I think the price of $39.99 is a decent way to charge somebody for a game, because you have the big open world games like Cyberpunk 2077. Sorry, I got a little bit distracted over there. Some of the bigger titles that will be coming out that are going to be $79.99, which I kind of feel like Game Pass right now is the better way to go because of that. You know, you spend less than $79 a month, and what am I paying? I don't know what I'm paying, but I'm definitely paying less than $79 a month, and I get any new game that comes out, especially first-party stuff from Microsoft, and some other games as well. I think it's pretty much the best deal right now. And most games you don't have to jump into right away; they'll go on sale pretty quick. Alright, but I was talking about masks. As I kind of push down here into the village area, I will unlock some other things, collect more of the rots, learn new skills. One thing that has happened with this game is it has crashed on me once, so I highly recommend saving frequently, because it does not seem to auto-save where it needs to autosave. I lost about an hour's worth of gameplay. So everything I've done up to this point that you've seen in this video, I've already done. And I'll kind of tell you when I get to a specific point. About where I get a mask in this game is about where I'll probably end this stream. And that's about how much time I lost. So I figured, why not record a gameplay of the part that I lost, so I don't feel like I'm wasting too much time again here. There have been some bugs that I've noticed. I've had floating rot, but they are magical creatures, so it doesn't really seem like it's out of place. They'll just sort of be walking around at a little bit above the head level of Kena. I don't know if it's Kena or Kena, but you know, there's a couple things that I'm sure that they'll do some bug fixing. Alright, so right now I'm getting a little bit of a haptic feedback pulse in my PlayStation 5 controller in the DualSense. And it's on the right side of the controller, so that tells me that there's something over on the right. Alright, we're going to do some combat here. Try try to make it a little bit more interesting and use some of my rot abilities. The more you collect, the more abilities that you'll get. Right now I have the ability to have them capture. Oh, so right now they're scared. So see how they're scared, the little icon at the bottom left? Once that little rotating, or that circle that's filling up right now on its own, once it gets full, I get the ability to use their skills. But if I attack, I'll get courage, and the rot abilities will come faster. So I can use this ability to send the rot out there to attack, or at this point they're just sort of holding them still with slow attacks, but they eventually let go. So that's one ability, and I'm sure I'll get more powerful abilities as I continue. So defeating enemies gives me some of those blue gems, and completing certain objectives give me experience. But with the lack of me not knowing exactly what the currency is up at the top right, I've got, we'll call it 25 gems, 65 experience, and 8 rot. Alright, so now that I've defeated the enemies, now the rot are pretty much fully available to me, and I can have them circle around. You've seen this before. And I can start to clean this area up. There's one more in here. Yeah, one thing I'm not 100% sure on why, excuse me for the yawn there, is see how I can go over here and aim at where I want them to go, but yeah, I can aim where I want them to go, but I can't pull the right trigger. That's what I would like to, because intuitive, it's more intuitive, it feels more intuitive that way, but I have to hit the square button. Let's get a little bit closer. Yep, that was the last one. This one opens up. I thought this one opening up would create a boss that I would have to fight, but that is not the case. Alright, you see how I green up the area and it becomes all beautiful and clean. Some things start to unlock. Again, in this village, everything that I have done so far is something that I've done in the past already. Excuse me. Get some water. Voice is a little bit rafty. So karma. Create karma by defeating corrupted enemies, restoring the environment, and finding fruit for your rot to eat. From the upgrade menu, use karma to unlock new abilities. Kenna can improve her base skills and infuse her abilities with rot to create powerful attacks. So the karma is the purple thing that I was calling experience before. Alright. So it is karma, and it was clearly probably listed there before when I called it experience. But yeah, top right I've got 65 karma. I'm not quite sure what the 25 is yet. So let's, I want to unlock, I need 100. Requires rot level 2. Upgrade level, let's see what this does. Sprint attack, parry counter. Press after parrying to perform a spinning attack. Let's do that. Nope, I need 150 for that. This one is, while sprinting, press R1 to perform a quick sweeping attack. Excuse me. Let's accept that. Let's go ahead and upgrade that. Alright, so right now I'm a rot level 1 down there at the bottom right. And I've got 3 out of 10 before I go up to the next level. Alright. So if I sprint... Is that what I added? Raids. While sprinting, press R1 for a quick sweep. Okay. Yep. Their dodge moves. I kind of like. Alright. Over here. I like that little tap of the staff. Little hats for my rot. Clover looks kind of cool. And I don't know what that currency is. I go over here to the hat shop. Where is it at? Over here. I can add. Alright, so let's shop here. Kind of like this mushroom one. I'll purchase that. Equip. That's equip. So now some of my rot you'll see will have little mushroom hats on. But I'm not sure exactly why it chooses which one to equip. Or how many I'm supposed to equip. Yeah, the first little guy has a mushroom hat on. The rest of them have nothing. I don't know how to... I guess that since I only have one, I have to buy more hats. Let's buy a clover hat. And the next we've got that. Okay, anyway. I'll learn more. And most of all that stuff is just cosmetic for right now. Alright, so I can see how this right here is glowing. I've got a little bit of a pulse in my controller. I step over here, the pulse in my controller is on the left side. So if I hit the pulse, then it'll kind of clean up. I will find another fellow rot.
Hey there, buddy.
So it's either cleaning up or finding new rot. And this puddle down here is dangerous, as you can see. But I resurrect. Alright, so I'm going to go meet the mask man. It's about where I ended my last game before it crashed. I was in a menu looking at masks, then it crashed. Animation's really good. I like the cutscene animations.
The rot seem quite fond of you.
Very familiar voice. I don't know who it is. I'll find that out. But yeah, this guy's going to talk to you, and then he's going to hand you your first mask.
Look after Benny and Saya.
Alright, first mask, Taro's mask. Taro is the brother of the two little children that you probably saw, that I'll show you here. I don't know if you saw them before, but wearing the masks lets you kind of see some of the things that are hidden in the world. So this is one of those things that I was talking about with the camera mode. So this is one of the main characters, and as long as you have him in frame and his, I was talking about that 45 or 85 degrees, so we'll go into photo mode. It'll freeze everything, but if you want to get the characters to look like they're there for a photo op, you hit the action button, which is the L1. Now everything starts to move, and Kenna will look at the screen, right? And then I think the rot will also look at the screen. See that guy that's standing on this rock back there, kind of staring at the camera. All right, if they stop looking, and your main character, like this gentleman right here, this spirit, he is a spirit. You hit cheese, he'll kind of stop what he's doing and then go into a pose with Kenna. All right, so you can stand like that, and oh, actually I'm not. I need to have him in the frame. So that's that. See, he'll... No, I need you to look over here. Jeez. No. Jeez. Oh, why aren't you looking? Kenna, you're going to have to move, probably. Go stand over here by him. Right about there. Alright. Photo mode. Go into action. Now let's go... Cheese again. Oh, he's not looking at the camera. Before he was looking at the camera. Not quite sure. Again, a couple bugs that I noticed from time to time. Before I was doing this, he would be looking at the camera. So see, it looks like he's not part of the picture, right? Generally, that has worked so far with other characters. Let's see if I can go find the little guys. Hopefully I can show you what it is that I mean here. But hopefully they'll come back and, you know, fix the problems that the game has. They're minor right now. I mean, other than that crash that I had for the game. Alright, so these little guys here. If I stand over here, come on guys, don't let me down. Go into photo mode. I go into action. Now see how they are also looking at the camera. And then they'll pose with Kenna. And then you can take a picture. And I can change Kenna's pose. Maybe they'll change their pose. See, that's fun. You take a photo. And they'll continue to look at the screen. Or look straight at the camera, which is awesome. Alright, so some of the Moses, you change the pose. Oh, there's a bunch more here. Sitting. Meditate. Kneel. Oh, that's cool. Format, portrait. Yeah, so a couple of portraits there. Different types of filters. Vignette, aperture, exposure, aberration. Aberration is sort of like the focus of the lens, or the way that the lens focuses on things and adjusts color or peels color away. I almost feel like it's a bird's eye view sometimes. But anyway, that's what I mean by photo mode. And that's pretty much where I ended my gameplay before. I like it so far, this game, Kenna Bridge of Spirits. There's a couple of things that, again, kind of bugged me that I hope that they work on. But I think overall, just sort of initial impressions, like the graphics, next gen. You know, I'm not quite sure. I mean, it feels nice, but this is sort of it. Again, initial feelings are like, hey, I could have made this in Dream. You know, the game by Media Molecule. It's very cartoonish, so I think it would be very easy to kind of create this kind of thing inside Dreams. The thing that kind of sets it apart is this companion thing they've got going, which I think is pretty cool. The animations feel a little rough sometimes. So Kenna either has just a walk animation. See how rough she kind of starts to walk, and then the only other animation she has is when she starts running. But then when I switch over from running to walking, it's a very abrupt stop. The jump animations, yeah, she'll jump. So, yeah, the jump animation is the same whether or not I'm walking or running or sprinting. The animation is the same. Imagine if someone's running and you jump, you would sort of have this forward leaping versus a stop in mid-air. I don't know how to describe that other than I think there should be a couple more transition animations for the character. There are some nice idle animations, and you can call in all the rot and kind of sit around with them. The first time I saw this happen, I was like, God, I'm in love with the way that they kind of let the character inhabit the world by, you know, simple little things like this. And, you know, don't get me wrong, sitting in a game that you really like is very zen. It's very relaxing. And just being able to chill here in the world and just sit really feels like you're inhabiting that space. In like Cyberpunk 2077, a game that I've spent a lot of hours in, and I still do. I love going back to Night City. I just wish there were more activities, but I would like to just go over to a bar and sit down in a chair that isn't scripted sitting down. You know, just sit down and order something from the bartender and have him make me a drink, and I'll sit there. I could literally inhabit the world and do that all day, and I'd be really satisfied. But that's me, and I know there needs to be more activities in there. But literally sitting down in games, for me, is role-playing. You're immediately giving me role-playing opportunities here to let the character inhabit the world. But benches all around Night City, and I can't sit on one of them unless it's a scripted event. Back to Kenna. I think like the overall world feels very nice, very calming. I don't have to like compare it to Breath of the Wild, which is really nice, just because it's colorful and it's if it's an open world, then immediately people are like, oh, it's just like Breath of the Wild. like Genshin Impact, just like Breath of the Wild, just because they can climb and it's cartoony. I'm glad I can have a cartoon style of game, very animated looking, Saturday morning cartoon, if you will. I don't have to say, oh, this is Breath of the Wild. So it's nice to kind of see that. I think it's pretty... The gameplay, the companion thing, I kind of like. And I know I'm looking forward. I have... What I have to look forward to is more of those rots to kind of collect and make stronger. There has been a couple of gameplay bugs, like I talked about, so hopefully they keep working on those. And I hope they expand the world, too. But I've got a lot more playtime, and I hope that's something that you will come back to. I'm going to keep playing. I'm not going to stream every minute of the game, but I'll definitely return with a stream and kind of show you where I'm at and how far along I've made it in Kena Bridge of Spirits. I hope you like this quick look at the game, and please let me know if you'd like to see more streams of Kena or other games in my collection. Name a game, and if I catch your comment, I will definitely jump on and stream that game for you. Again, if I don't have it in my collection, I'll try to pick it up when it's on sale and then do that stream. All right, thank you very much for joining me, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. All right.